Morning everybody, how you doing? Sam here, joined by Rory, making his debut on News at 10. How you doing, Rory?
Very excited, very nervous.
Very nervous. Well, there's no reason to be nervous. It's a very comfortable environment. Talking about the news, talking about Sam Allardyce once again getting linked to the Everton job 2 weeks after he initially was linked to it and effectively said, look, Everton have dithered, I don't want the job anymore. They've had to go full circle. Marco Silva's not going to come, he's staying at Watford, and now it looks like Sam Allardyce is going to be named the Everton boss, hopefully this week for Everton fans as far as they're concerned, after that 4-1 pummelling against Southampton at the weekend. But what we'll do, run through the back pages as always. We're going to hear from Ped, what he had to say on Sam Allardyce on Social Club. Very interesting comments from Ped. Check that out after the back pages, but let's go straight to it. First and foremost, we're going to go to the Independent. There, Ed Malyon, sports editor, saying that Allardyce is back in contention and that Everton have reinitiated the contact with Sam Allardyce. Now, I suppose it begs the question is why they didn't go for Sam Allardyce then when they could have, because it's a month later now and they're going back for Sam Allardyce. It's whether or not Moshiri and Kenwright agreed that Sam Allardyce was the right man, or maybe Moshiri was pushing more for Marco Silva. Everton really, really thought that they were going to get him, but they didn't.
No, they dithered and it doesn't look good. But I think that in a roundabout way, they're going to end up with the right man sort of by accident. I don't think it's their first choice, but this is a job that Sam's been waiting for all his career, isn't it? Like I'm
pretty sure he's waiting for the England job.
Yeah, so. He had that for, 60 days or something. Didn't he lead him out once?
Yeah.
But, aside from that, obviously, that was a job that he was desperate for. He got it, it didn't go his way. But this is huge. He's going to end up with the job that he has been craving for in league football.
Right. Interesting from Rory.
Massive for him.
Let's go to the back page of the Star now. Save us, Sam. Everton banking on boss Allardyce, and the Star is saying that could actually be announced today. I think Everton fans will want it to be before that game against West Ham and David Moyes on Wednesday. That is their next fixture. I mean, losing to a Moyes managed side would be another sucker punch for Everton. I don't really think they need any more this season, do they? And let's go to the final back page. We're going to go to the Times. Again, Paul Joyce, Oliver Kay, all respected journalists, all saying Everton back to Allardyce. It's effectively Allardyce or nothing. Allardyce or Unsworth are the two options that Everton now have for themselves. There's a question to be asked about whether or not Everton wanted to give David Unsworth a chance. If they hadn't have lost all these games and they got some draws, maybe a win, other than that 3-2 over Watford, maybe Unsworth would be given a bit more chance, and maybe that was why they did it. But they maybe put a little bit too much faith in David Unsworth and the fact that he could get them results.
I think that it's quite admirable that they've given somebody an opportunity, but I think the issue with it is Everton are a massive club competing in one of the biggest competitions in world football. You can't use Everton Football Club as a guinea pig to find out whether David Unsworth is good enough. They need to know that he is and give him a job, or he needs to earn his stripes elsewhere. And I think it's fair to say that it became apparent very early on in David Unsworth's managerial reign that he wasn't the right man for the job. They played Chelsea in the League Cup on his debut, and there was a murmur, a whisper of a resurgence, but it never really materialised. And I think people like us who have been commentating on this, we've been saying that Unsworth isn't the right man for a while.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's still the manager is problematic.
It definitely is problematic. Let's see what you guys and girls got to say in the comments. Got Jack Dooley saying if Big Sam goes to Everton, he needs a year's supply of chewing gum. Fergie style that. FIFA Fanatic saying Big Sam is bad for Everton because he needs a big striker. And that has been one of Everton's biggest problems this year. They got rid of Lukaku, but they've got Rooney, they've got Sandro, they haven't really got...
No, they've got the young lad who wears a mosque.
Oh, Calvert-Lewin?
Calvert-Lewin, yeah. He's a handful.
He has been quite good.
Good player.
Especially City away, that was where I think he scored and got an assist.
Yeah, he played very well against Chelsea. He's a good centre-forward, he's a good target man, and... the problem is for Everton, they had Lukaku, they sold him, and they never effectively replaced him. So when a player like Lukaku, I think he was responsible for over 50% of their goals last season, they're going to need to find a replacement for that. But there's no doubt in my mind that Allardyce could get Calvert-Lewin doing a job. Remember, he had Kevin Davis doing a job.
I think Calvert-Lewin, he strikes me as a player who is better than someone who can do a job, but maybe if Sam Allardyce comes in, that's what he'll have to do. Very good comment here from Liam Williamson saying, how is Big Sam meant to have an impact for the West Ham game with only 1 day of training and implementing his system with a poor set of defenders? That's a very fair point. And looking at Everton's next upcoming fixtures, we've got West Ham at home, Huddersfield at home as well. Apollon Limassol away in the Europa League, already out of that. That's an absolute bogey game. But on the 10th of December, Liverpool away. You know, Everton don't have the best record at all at Anfield when they're playing in good form, let alone in this season.
And Liverpool incredible at home at the moment.
That is not going to be a good game for Everton. But as I said, we've got a clip from Ped. He was on Social Club. Make sure you check those videos out on Ball Street. They were all out yesterday. He was asked whether Sam Allardyce was the right man for the job and asked to give his commentary on the situation right now at Everton. It's what he had to say.
But where'd you go from here? It's like I say, 35 days since the manager was sacked, and there's been no coherent plan.
There is no looks. Well, if rumours are to be believed, Sam Allardyce may be taking over in the next 24 hours.
Well, we'll come to that in a minute because we were asked a question on that. But I mean, just again from the guys here as well. I mean, Dean, it's a mental situation. You know, look, West Ham have taken action. I'm not saying I think David Moyes. I fear David Moyes is not the answer for West Ham, but it was decisive action. They sacked the manager. They got a replacement in, and now he's playing football matches. Palace was mad, but again, Hodgson's doing something.
But was there a plan with Everton? I remember hearing a lot of Everton fans saying at the time that give Unsworth a chance, forget this, forget that, give Unsworth a chance, he's sitting there waiting. Was this part of a plan to hold off, give him a month, if results picked up, give him it till the end of the season? So, and now it looks like Unsworth's not feasible because of the results. Is that now why it's been this long since there's been an appointment? That's what I kind of look at it as. But I mean, it looks an unholy mess. Yeah.
It should have been in the international window, which was straight after, which I think was the plan actually. It was like, 2 or 3 games, get to the international window, then get it done then. And they didn't, and they've just made a complete mess of it. And the problem is that there's 2 big forces at the top of the club, Mashiri and Bill Kenwright, and one probably wants one kind of manager and probably one wants another. And the mad thing is, if it is Allardyce, let's just say, they could have had him a month ago. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a fair point from Ped. Why didn't we just get Sam Allardyce a month ago? Because maybe they could have avoided the pain and the results they've had, conceded 11 goals in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
I mean, Sam Allardyce, maybe he didn't do that.
But I think the reason that they're now so hell-bent on getting hold of Allardyce is because they have now come to the realisation that ridiculously, for a club of Everton's size, in what is, for me, quite a poor league, Everton, for me, now are in a dogfight. They are in a dogfight, and I think that the potential of them going down, the fact that there's a slight realism around that possibility now, means that they have to go for Allardyce. They need to get him because I feel very confident in saying this. Everton, with Allardyce at the helm, do not get relegated.
I mean, that's what Ped said in the video. Said right now we're getting relegated. So they've put themselves in a rock and a hard place where Sam Allardyce is your only option.
Do you agree with what I said then? Do you think that Everton do not go down with Allardyce?
Yes, definitely because of how bad the league is this year. There are so many other teams that won't be in as strong a position. West Brom, they got rid of Pulis. I don't know who's going to come in there with Gary Megson at the moment. Well, they got a draw at Tottenham. So maybe I'm being unfair there. But Swansea, looks like Paul Clement's going to get the chop at some point soon. Crystal Palace, they've won and now they've still only got to get
I think anyone south of about 10th, maybe even slightly higher, will be looking below them. They'll be looking down. They'll certainly have one eye on what's going on in the bottom 3.
Yeah.
So I can completely understand why Everton are trying to woo Allardyce, and it's a good fit for me. I really do. I think Allardyce is a very good manager. I think Everton are a brilliant club. It works, and they don't go down.
We've got lots and lots of comments coming in asking what's happened to Flav. Now, obviously, as you know, Flav is Sam Allardyce's agent. You know, he has been pushing for Sam Allardyce to get a job for at least 4 weeks on Ball Street, and it's absolutely no coincidence on the day he's signing a contract with Everton that Flav isn't here. So I mean, the cat's out of the bag. Flav actually represents Sam Allardyce. He doesn't represent Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil though. Look at that for a little transition.
Segue.
That was beautiful.
King of segues.
Beautiful. I'll take that.
And you're getting the Adam seal of approval as well.
Yeah, nice. So apparently, Arsene Wenger has said that Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil and Jack Wilshere will not be leaving the club in January. Asked if his gut feeling is that both Sanchez and Ozil will stay, Wenger replied, yes, of course. And then when he was asked about Jack Wilshere, he said, I will absolutely fight for him to stay here because he is a top quality player. Now, Arsenal, it's happened to them plenty of times before with letting contracts run down. What's going to happen? Let us know in the comments now, any Arsenal fans. We've been talking about this lots and lots, but it's going to keep coming up because in January, they can sign pre-contracts with foreign clubs. And that's not that far away now. So, Arsenal fans, are you worried or do you believe Wenger?
What Wenger's saying there is that they're going to stay until the end of this season. So they're going to stay in January. So I believe that. I think that they'll certainly stay and see out their season. What happens after that I have no idea, and I think it's very worrying that potentially they're going to let hundreds of millions of pounds worth of talent not only leave the club. Arsenal Football Club shouldn't be allowing such exquisite players to leave, but leaving for free.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make sense. And I mean, keeping hold of the Jack Wilshere comments there, I found very interesting. Very keen to keep hold of him. There's no doubting Jack Wilshere's talent. He's a very, very good football player, perfect for the way that Arsenal play football. But he's just keeping him fit. So Wenger, being so keen to keep hold of him, must believe that he can keep him fit.
Well, Wilshere's looking in decent shape. He's looking like he's actually playing consistent amount of football.
Yeah,
I
mean, for season long rather than month long.
Yeah, well, we'll see what goes on with Wilshere. As for Sanchez and Ozil's performances have definitely taken an upturn. He was fantastic against Spurs. He was good against Burnley as well. And Sanchez obviously coming up with the all-important penalty. They are Arsenal's 2 game changers, so to lose both of them on a free, how are you supposed to replace those and at the same time strengthen in other key areas where you need to? And Arsenal still need to strengthen because they're a little bit below. Well, they're nowhere near Man City.
Mate, you've hit the nail on the head. When you have players like that, like Arsenal, in order to try and Arsenal are a side that should be trying to win the league. You know, they are in desperate need of a Premier League title, another Premier League title, and if players like Ozil and players like Sanchez leave, even if they have a really productive summer and bring in some excellent talent, it's only going to be as good as, like, say they go out and buy 3 world-class players. If they're losing 2 world-class players, you're pretty much plateauing, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the issue that Arsenal have, and that's what happens when you let players contract.
But maybe Wenger's got a secret up his sleeve here, because it seems, do you not?
I don't think he does.
But it seems so short-sighted to allow it to get to this situation where potentially these players...
but it happened before. Like Van Persie had 1 year left on his contract, forced to move to United. They've been in this situation a lot of times before, and they haven't seemed to have learned from it, which is a bad.
No, but they took the money for United from United for Van Persie, didn't they? They took the money.
20 million.
But if he's saying that they're going to stay, that will mean that they could leave for absolutely nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I can't see Sanchez or Ozil, in all honesty, signing a contract just to give Arsenal the fee.
Would you be interested in Ozil? There was talk of him going to United.
I personally have said quite clearly that I don't want Ozil at United. I don't think he suits Mourinho's style of football that we're trying to build right now. Brilliant footballer, majestic on the ball. And yes, we probably do need a number 10, but I would much rather spend the money on Antoine Griezmann. He's someone who would fit our system a lot more than Ozil. I mean, Ozil, if you give me Real Madrid Ozil, when he just signed after the World Cup, I'd take that all day long.
That was with Mourinho, though.
And that was with Mourinho. But it's a bit of a risk, but it's a free risk. So maybe it's a risk that Mourinho would want to take. But let's read a few of your comments out before we wrap it up here. We got Brandon Metcalf asking when James is back. He's back on Friday. You know, everybody is really excited about that. Jack Dooley saying Wenger lies coming out again, so Jack's not convinced about Sanchez and Ozil staying. Ozil didn't even play at Burnley apparently. Whoops. Right, best to show that I don't watch Arsenal.
Sanchez got the winner.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Right? That's what I meant. But anyway, that's it for today's News at 10. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you all for your comments. As always, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're going to join us tomorrow morning at 10. Thank you very much, Rory, for making your debut.
It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you all very much.
No nerves at all. He's a natural, he is. Anyway, join us tomorrow for News at 10. Take it easy.